The Temple Owls look to get back to 500 as they host the Delaware Blue Hens. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Liacouras Center. Alongside Liam Gianelli, I'm Hayden Vandell. The Owls got back in the win column following a 14-point win against UPenn on Sunday. Enos Piper logged her second double-double of the season in the victory. Liam, the senior from France, leads the Cherry and White in rebounding and blocks per game. What has been different about Piper's game this season?
Yeah, she's playing a lot more aggressive down in the paint, something that the Owls needed, a little sense of aggressiveness throughout the team. You can have Leah Nelson diving everywhere, on and off, bringing the energy, but someone else needed to step up this offseason, now transitioning into the conference play, and it's been Enos Piper. I remember she broke her nose last year. In a sense, you can use that nose guard as a weapon, but now she's fully healthy and actually attacking the basket, trying to dish out the passes, being a true facilitator all around the court.
And for the Blue Hens, they have some girls that can score in bunches. 4 Delaware players averaging at least 10 points per game. Temple is giving up 63 points per game. For a team like that, what do you expect to see from Delaware's offense tonight?
Yeah, they might have just taken a page out of Diane Richardson's book with the equal opportunity offense. There's true scorers all over the court. Don't know how that would transition into defensive play. We might be in for an offensive shootout tonight, but Temple's key goal, maybe set up a half-court press defense to slow down the Blue Hens.
And Tiara East leading the Owls in scoring this season with 10.7 points per game. She's also scored in double figures, very quietly, I might add, in the last 3 contests. What have you seen from her?
Yeah, Tiara, she's jumping passes across the court, just fast athleticism. I think that's a key word, athleticism. That's something you can't teach. That's something that brings an X factor to an offense, and Tiara is that X factor for the Owls.
And we do have starting lineups for the 4th consecutive game. The Cherry and White will be rocking with Aaliyah Nelson, Demi Washington, Tiara East, Enos Piper, and Rain Tucker as their first 5 on the floor. And for the Delaware Blue Hens, they'll have Tara Cousins. And then at the 2, Mia Yanogasio, Sydney Boone, Chloe Wilson, and Clark Schoners. 4 of their 5 starters averaging 10 points per game tonight. The Owls are rocking their alternate gray jerseys with Owls red across the top of the chest. Delaware in their blue and gold uniforms. And we are about to get underway here from the Liacouras Center. And the Owls get the opening tip. Leah Nelson gives it over to Washington. Good ball moving there from Temple. Piper, though, gets called with an offensive foul on the first possession.
Yeah, talked about the aggressiveness from Piper. The offensive foul on the first possession, you got to let that play out after the ref. She did nothing wrong there, no push off. She put her body into the defender like she was going to go up with it over her. I don't like that call already from the get-go.
Delaware takes over from the top of the key.
Yeah, Tiara East just got shoved down low.
A very physical brand of basketball early on here as Sydney Boone gets it down low to Schoners. There's a jump shot from Schoners that's off the mark, hit the back of the iron. Temple pushing the pace. Tiara East with the left hand, no good.
You see how quick she is for the outlet pass right there. She's got to go a little smoother next time at the backboard. She just a little too rushed right there, and that's why it's a missed basket.
And there's a steal from me. She's done that quite often this season and last year as well. And that time she's able to finish for the deuce.
She's all over the defender, not giving them any space, but she's smart with the hand. She's not reaching for it. She's just letting them dribble down low, and that's why it's 2 points for the Owls in the get-go.
Delaware on the far side. Here is Cousins. Cousins driving in on Piper, who did a great job of holding her ground.
Yeah, closing out perfectly, put her hand in the face, not leading into the pump fake.
Now it's Schoners down low, working on Tucker. She heaves up a shot, no good. And a late foul is called. Chloe Wilson fell to the floor. And right when Aaliyah Nelson grabbed the ball for a defensive rebound, the foul was called, but it will go the way of the Owls.
Yeah, Chloe Wilson got called for that one. I think she tried reaching for it, and Aaliyah Nelson, I don't want to say milked the foul, but had enough effort to get the call their way from Temple.
Delaware showing some pressure full court, but Temple easily breaks it. Aaliyah Nelson bringing the ball up. She's being guarded by Yana Gasio. To the top of the key, swing it to the far side. Piper nearly had the ball tipped. Good hands there from Chloe Wilson.
Yeah, Delaware's going to run a zone defense tonight, looks like. I mean, it's only 90 seconds in. But if Temple wants to shoot lights out, tonight's the game to do it. You got to work inside the paint. Like I said, Enos Piper goes on top of the free throw line and find a guard that's cutting or running beyond the arc.
That is who Nelson inbounds it to, but she gets the basketball right at the top of the key. She pulls up for a jump shot. Off the mark, fight for the rebound, and then it's clawed out by Sydney Boone.
Yeah, Leah Nelson got space there. That shot's going to fall tonight.
Boone pushes the floor, and there's a quick three from the hands of Tara Cousins, and it's good. 37% free throw shooter coming into the night, and she drains her first one. Temple on the other way. Demi Washington, quick layup. No good, and fighting for an offensive rebound is Enos Piper, but she gets called for a foul.
Yeah, we talked about this. Delaware team has offensive firepower. 4 starters average more than double figures. And we just saw in that transition, and it looks like it's only a 2-point basket for Cousins because her foot was on the line. But Temple should maybe move the ball a little more methodically and slowly when they're offense because you can get into a shootout. Maybe the Blue Hens might be able to capitalize on all that.
Here is Boone driving in, being guarded by East. Boone spin move, great dump off, but missing the bunny shot was Delaware. Couldn't see exactly who it was.
Sconers.
Offensive rebound there from Sconers, as Liam, as you mentioned. Temple takes it the other way, trying to get it quickly to Jalissa Molina in the paint. She just does a good job of saving it. That ball was heading out of bounds. Nelson, again, another quick jumper. That is good for 2.
Yeah, interesting. Enos Piper's already out. Not even 3 minutes in for Jalissa Molina. Don't know if it's an injury to watch. I see her on the bench, but interesting approach, especially how she was the one to drive already towards the basket.
Wonder if that early foul had anything to do with it either, less than 3 minutes in. And there's a foul called on Aaliyah Nelson, so very early on, Temple picking up a couple fouls.
Yeah, these refs are whistle happy tonight. I can tell you right now. That is a clean ball, clean play. Aaliyah just a little bump into her. Nothing wrong with that. She was trying to jump the pass, maybe a second too late. But if you're official, you got to let that play out. I didn't see no shoving or anything to dismiss the direction of the ball. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of officiating in any sports these days.
No, you're not?
Absolutely not. Especially basketball. You get to see it more.
The inbound man is Cousins. Cousins gets it in for Boone. Boone, 15 seconds on the shot clock. 3 minutes gone by here from the Liacouras Center. Temple up 4-2, and another whistle is blown. Tiara East gets called for a foul.
Tiara East is on her hip the entire time on Boone. Hands are up in the air. Boone steps out of bounds and kind of falls forward with it, losing her balance. Again, not a fan of the call.
So 3 minutes in, and change, and Temple has already picked up 4 fouls. Still, none of them have sent the Blue Hens to the line, though.
That's 2. My apologies. Looking at the box score, 2 points, but it's a foul on Tiara East. This might be more of a bench game that Danielson has to bring players off the bench like we saw men's do in that triple overtime game versus LaSalle. It's going to be next man up, next woman up in a sense.
Sconer's working inside, unable to get the jumper to go. And the ball goes out of bounds on the other end. It will stay with the Owls.
Yeah, Tiara East was dribbling by her feet and not looking up, and that's why it was getting kicked out. No kickball violation, but stays in possession of Temple regardless.
Terriana Gary coming to check in for Aaliyah Nelson, or excuse me, and that is Tristan Taylor coming in for Aaliyah Nelson, who has now checked in all 10 of Temple's games, all 10 of them coming off the bench. Tiara East on the near side, working, fading away, and splash! Tiara East on the fadeaway.
Yeah, pretty move right there. Had to fade, follow through. A lot of people don't follow through in the fadeaway. Tiara East did that time. That's why it's for 2.
And then there is another whistle. This one is on Molina.
I'm looking. They're going to show the replay on the scoreboard in a second. But Molina had her hands up the entire way again. Don't know if she got over the back, and that's why a little bit of elbow hit the shoulder on the way up. But it looked all ball from her point of view. I know we're in a different spot today in the Liacouras Center, not in the usual corner. I think kind of parallel to the band, but it looks clean to me.
Chloe Wilson shooting at the free throw line. 78% free throw shooter on the season. Gets the first one to trickle in. Wilson, senior from Freeport, New York. She transferred out of Fairleigh Dickinson. Spent the last 3 seasons with the Knights. Last year, she was actually their leader in points and rebounds per game. Was first team all-conference in the NEC. So definitely a great pickup for Coach Sarah Jenkins, who is in her 2nd season with the Blue Hens, a 20-19 record coming into the night.
Did I hear Freeport? Did I hear a little Long Island shout out?
Little Long Island shout out for Liam. And then for Diane Richardson, the head coach of the Owls in her second season, a 15-23 record. We know the difficulties last year, losing 4 players. As Temple has a shot clock violation that allowed me to spew out all that information for you guys listening back home.
Yeah, no Owls on that offensive possession was looking at the clock or even the basket, trying to do too many extra passes. You got to do that. Someone's got to be a little selfish in the possession and make sure the ball gets up before the clock hits 0.
Sydney Boone bringing the ball up for Delaware. Punches it down low. The Blue Hens get it back to the top of the key where Cousins is. Cousins down low. Delaware looks like they really want to attack the paint a lot tonight.
I like that call, especially now Temple's sitting at 5 fouls. Next way to the basket's going to be 1-1. Why not attack the paint? Temple already's in foul trouble.
And there is a bucket for Tiara East off of the steal from Tristan Taylor. Her 15th steal of the season gives the Owls an 8-4 advantage.
Yeah, Tristan Taylor could do everything that Leah Nelson does. That's why she's a nice spark off the bench. People might want to call for her to be a starter, but you need someone that can provide a little more depth and relief running off the seats.
And an offensive foul called on Skoners that will send things the other way.
Yeah, 10 seconds left before our last media timeout or next dead ball in a sense. Temple looks quite... I want to hit 3 here. I know I'm not a big facilitator for the 3, but if Delaware has the offensive foul power, you got to go up early.
Temple goes down low. Rain Tucker dribbled the ball off her foot and fighting for it now on the floor with Molina was Chloe Wilson. And there is our first break of the game. Temple up on Delaware 8-4, just over 5 minutes gone by here at the Liacouras Center. Welcome back inside of the Liacouras Center on WHIP. Temple up on Delaware 8-4, but a lot of fouls being blown here, especially for Temple. There have been 7 fouls called in the first 5 minutes and change. 5 of them have been blown on the Cherry and White.
Yeah, it's a little ticky-tack fouls. It's a 50-50 call. The refs have the power with the whistle in their mouth to just blow it if they wanted to, but I'm not a big fan of three of them so far.
Nearly a turnover from Delaware out of the break, but they do retain it. This is Tara Cousins. Cousins now gets double teamed on a blitz, and she gets trapped in the corner right at half court, and a timeout is called by Sarah Jenkins.
Yeah, I like the aggressive approach from Diane Richardson, trapping them at half court. Even if you're playing a dangerous game with 5 fouls, the next trip to line could be 1-on-1, but continue bringing the pressure. We talked about that in the pregame stand-up even prior to tip-off about how Diane Richardson needs to have some tricks in her back pocket, and she already's bringing the pressure in defense. And I love that. We haven't seen that from Temple in a lot, especially last year. Talked about 8 girls, really couldn't press as much as you wanted to. They get tired and such. But now you've got people coming off the bench, definitely more defensive purposes. Jalissa Molina was all over that. That's exactly who you draw up.
Yep, and it came out of nowhere, too. Just 1, 2, 3, boom. And there comes Jalissa Molina. And Delaware was stuck with nowhere to go, forcing them to use their first timeout.
Delaware staying at no field goals in the past 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
So here is Boone being guarded by Tristan Taylor. Freshman out of Texas, just blows right by her, goes through Tucker, and goes up with the right hand.
Yeah, great side Euro step right there by Boone.
And Delaware forgot to get back. Jalissa Molina.
Just too easy for Molina right there. Like you said, took it where it's Delaware did not get back in time. Lack of hustle right there.
So here's Rebecca Demike checking in for the first time tonight. Then driving in, Jalissa Molina with the block. And caught the ball. Chloe Wilson caught the ball right out of bounds after Molina blocked her shot.
Yeah, it was the same exact play that happened earlier. Molina reached over, and she got a little more hip to hip with her. That's why the ball wasn't called a foul. She didn't have to reach over and smack and get a little bit of the arm. Good play by Molina.
Temple up 10-6, under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Tristan Taylor now out there with Aaliyah Nelson, will heave up a 3, hits the back of the iron, but Nelson gets the offensive rebound. And Liam and I actually talked to one of the assistant coaches from Delaware, Sam Pierce, and he said that was going to be a factor for Temple as they get another offensive rebound, and the third time is the charm for Rain Tucker, her first bucket of the night.
Yeah, Temple has a lot of star power on offense and defense as well, all throughout the roster. It can be someone any given night. It might be Aaliyah Nelson, might be Terry, it might be Taylor, Molina. It's a team game. Everyone's got to contribute, and we're seeing that so far. 8 rebounds for Temple, 3 of them coming offensively.
Yep, Temple is averaging 16.8 offensive rebounds per game. Not only is that the best in the American, but that is 10th in the nation.
Talk about a team that last year was getting out-rebounded in most of their games. It came down to those last 2 minutes of not getting a rebound on a free throw, three-pointer, and just not capitalize on it. But now Temple is doing it. Transition, I think it was a main focus for Richardson. Her coaching staff wanted to develop.
Rain Tucker down low, gets it into Molina, who gets hacked, and will go to the line for an opportunity for 2.
Yeah, you can offensive rebounds all you want for any team, but you got to have a play drawn up after. I mean, if you're under the basket, just go right up for it. Maybe you'll get the whistle, but don't look for it. Someone cutting for a 3, being baseline, but something's got to be developing regardless of the offensive free throw.
Jalissa Molina, just like Tristan Taylor, a freshman who has played in every single one of Temple's games this year, all off of the bench, shooting it at a 56% clip from the charity stripe and averaging 5.6 points per game. She misses the second free throw there, so it goes 1 for 2 from the line.
Demi Washington got a little lucky with no push-off right there, so pushing it back.
Driving baseline now for Delaware is Howard, but unable to get it, and then trying to do just a little bit too much, just out of the hands of Demi Washington, was Tristan Taylor's pass down the baseline, and the Blue Hens will take over.
Yeah, Taylor doesn't need to force that. It's like putting a good football towards a receiver, working the sidelines. You don't need to do that. You can slow it down. You don't need the home run ball just yet, especially in the first quarter. If you're chasing points, I understand, but you're up. Play it methodically.
Delaware digging a little bit into their bench. Dariana Howard and Nakaya Mays Princeton for the first time tonight. And gets it down low against Tucker, trying to get it inside, fight for the ball, and we'll have another jump ball with the possession arrow favoring the Owls.
Great defense by Rain Tucker right there. Hands up all the way, shuffling her feet. There is no way you can call that a foul, and they didn't. It's rewarded by hustle play by Leah Nelson for the jump ball.
Temple averaging 10.9 steals per game. That's second in their conference. And that fight for the jump ball has that with another one. Leah Nelson gets it to Jalissa Molina. As Taylor running baseline, Rain Tucker just goes in with the post move, fading or spinning and drawing a foul.
Another wishy-washy foul right there. I didn't see any contact, but Temple's reward right there. 4 turnovers in the past 4 minutes for Delaware. Something nearing the end of the first quarter. A lot of games left to play, but having this many turnovers in the first quarter might be a bad sign of things to come.
Tiara East checks in for Demi Washington as Tucker will go to the line. Tucker, in her first playing season here at Temple, missed all of last season's. This is her 3rd school. Played 2 years at James Madison and, of course, was at Towson with Diane Richardson before she came to North Broad with her.
Yeah, the transfer portal works magic. If you want to follow a coach, you get often do NIL and cents. It's going to be interesting how Richardson and Delaware works it towards the offseason or throughout the season. We've seen mid-transfer news happening in men's basketball. See how it affects the women's standpoint.
Tara Cousins with it at the top of the key. Guarded by Aaliyah Nelson. She drives in, takes a jumper, no good. Offensive rebound, and going up with it and getting the 2-point basket.
Just sloppy defense again.
Again, Jalissa Molina trailing ahead. That's the 2nd time tonight. Following a Delaware bucket, Jalissa Molina just trailed the floor and had no one in front of her. And it forces Sarah Jenkins to take another timeout. So 2 timeouts to use from Delaware in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's her second 30-second timeout in the first quarter. I think she's obviously upset by her team not hustling back on defense. Maybe the fast break offense will be the key for the Owls if Molina keeps streaking down the court. Wouldn't say it's cherry picking. She's sitting on the outlet pass for 3-point, and once the ball hits off the rim, she's streaking down the court. That's what a good player does. It's someone that could bring a little more to the table.
If Temple with 8 fast break points, when we compare that to the visiting Blue Hens, they have off a fast break point 0. Temple has a 17-8 lead with 1:41 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Sarah Jenkins looked ballistic, yelling at her team. I don't know if she was looking for the ref, too, because it looked like Molina maybe picked up her double dribble, and got away with one. But something to keep an eye on.
Maze Prince bringing up the ball for the Blue Hens. Jumps it down low for Skoners.
Good foul through by Leah Nelson.
And there's another steal. Tristan Taylor, her 16th of the season. She goes up with it. No good, though. Jalissa Molina, offensive rebound, dumps it in for Tucker, who might have gotten away with a walk, but she'll take the 2 points.
And out of bounds right there. Forced pass towards the sideline. You can't do. There was no press right there. The Temple's going to get the offensive ball right back.
And the whistle is blown. The Owls getting the ball back?
Yeah, my apologies, I missed it. Howard threw it out of bounds for Prince Mays.
So Tiara East inbounds it for Taylor, who now gets double teamed, and getting a piece of the ball was Mays Prince, but Temple still able to keep with it. Tiara East driving in, going up with the left hand, and it's off the mark and rebounded by the Blue Hens.
Yeah, Tiara East getting trapped on top of a little above half court, kind of stepped through a little bit. Something you're not supposed to do because that's exactly how you get the ball poked away. You look for an extra pass, fake high, go low. But she got, her athleticism was able to get to the paint and didn't get the call at the rim.
Foul is called on East. She was trying to get through a Skoners screen. Couldn't really believe the call.
Ooh, looking back at it, Prince Mays' ankle kind of looked twisted on the replay, but she looks okay to be shooting free throws.
And Tiara East will go back to the Temple bench. That's her 2nd foul in the first quarter. So,
yeah, we've yet to see Enos Pipers check back in, and no Tariana Gary yet. Richardson squad. Yeah,
Kendall Currents has just checked in for Tiara East as Mays Prince hits the first free throw along with the second one. Under a minute left to play here in the first quarter. Taylor will slow things down as Temple will look to get at least another possession. Molina dribbled pass to Currents is off the mark from downtown.
Yeah, it's Temple's only second three-point attempt of the quarter. Delaware has attempted none. Both teams trying to work inside out. And I mean, if the fouls don't keep coming your way, I would keep attacking the paint too. Now they're going to shoot 1-1, Delaware.
So Maze Prince will go to the line. So will already, if she makes this one, will have the same amount of free throws taken in the game in the first quarter as she does hit it than she has the entire season. Maze Prince, a sophomore out of Chicago, came into the night just 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. And tonight, she is 3 of 4.
I always find it interesting when people come from like way different states, Chicago to Delaware. What is the selling point? What are you telling them we don't have in Chicago? There's a lot of good basketball schools.
Well, I can't tell you Chicago is not a state.
Oh, my apologies. It's, guys, it's late at night. It's finals week. My brain is mush. So apologies on that. Illinois.
There you go. 15 seconds. Maze Prince heaves up a 3 and got it to go. Could argue that there was a foul there, too, on Denise Solis. Final 5 seconds left to play. Aaliyah Nelson with 4. Does Temple? No. Taylor has to go. The band's counting down, and it helps out Tristan Taylor, who throws a mid-range jumper from the free throw line at the buzzer to give Temple a 21-14 lead through one period of play here at the Liacouras Center.
Yeah, great crossover step through by Taylor. That was a pretty move. And now the Owls lead by 7.
Through one quarter of play, Temple up 21-14. A football score at the end of one at the Liacouras Center. And Liam, I think it's safe to say that both these teams are just going to want to drive in all night, especially with the fouls being called by the officials early on. For Temple, they had 7 fouls called on them. Delaware had 4. And that might be part of the reason that we've only seen 3 3-point shots taken in that first quarter between the two teams combined.
Yeah, you took everything I wanted to say. I was going to bring up the combined 3-pointers, but yeah, Temple shot 50% from all their shots inside the arc. It's a great number for Temple to be shooting early on. Wonder if Delaware makes some adjustments on the defensive end.
Cousins, Mays, Prince, Wilson, Boone, and Skoners, the 5 out there on the floor to start the second quarter for the Blue Hens as Wilson got wide open as an Owl fell to the floor. and able to hang it in for 2.
Yes, Rain Tucker fell to the floor. Don't know if she was bumped into on the lane or if it was non-contact.
Currents, Nelson, Washington, Tucker, and Solis, the 5 out there to start the second quarter for the Cherry and White.
Yeah, both still working it inside. No one's settling for a 3. They're closing out well in the zone for Delaware, though.
Denise Solis gets double teamed by Skoners and Wilson. Able to get it down low to Tucker, throws up a shot and another whistle, but this time it's for a travel.
Yeah, Tucker, I thought Solis, that's the last spot you're supposed to go in the zone, in the corner. That's exactly where the trap happens. You never go to the corner. That's why I would always tell when I was play basketball. That's where I'd even pick up. And then she went towards the corner, and Rain Tucker took a little bit of happy feet on a free throw line.
Here's Wilson driving in on Tucker, puts it up, and gets fouled.
Yeah,
so another foul on Rain Tucker. That's her first.
Yeah, Terry East racing it too. Wonder if Enos Piper's yet to come back in. This quarter still looking on. No signal towards Richardson for anybody on the bench. Still interested to note that Tariana Gary is yet to check in for Temple. Don't know if they're playing up. You don't need that spark yet from beyond the arc. Just something to consider.
First free throw from Chloe Wilson is good.
No, that was not good, Hayden. That was off the back of the rim.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, I got the Chicago one as a state. Right, now you got that we're even.
We're even now. Tariana Gary has played in every game for the Owls, averaging over 21 minutes. And there is an Owl heading the scores table, but it is Jalissa Molina. Kendall Currents gets it over to Tucker to Washington. Washington driving in the floater, trickles off the rim, fight for the rebound, and bodies fall on the floor, and a foul is called on the Blue Hens. It will stay with the Owls. Boy, we've seen a lot of bodies hit the deck tonight.
Yeah, both teams being aggressive in the paint. It's going to be an offensive rebounding battle, and I like to see that. There's no reason why basketball can't be a contact sport. Everyone looks for the whistle, blah, blah, blah. But both teams are just diving everywhere over the court looking for a loose ball. That's well-coached teams right there. You got to be teaching that the day they step into the gym.
And Dia Crissier checks in for the first time tonight for the Blue Hens. Here's Demi Washington. Aaliyah Nelson will back things up. Gets a screen from Tucker, going to her left. She uses it, pulls up for 2, and it's off the mark.
You didn't like the shot, settle for the 3. Had to step in, had a good look, just unlucky.
Nelson now 1 of 3 as a foul is called on Temple. It's Jalissa Molina.
Yeah, she's looking right at the ref. Put her hands up. Don't know what that's called. Richardson's unhappy. Still not signaling for Piper to come in. That's 2 fouls on Molina.
Piper picked up a foul about 3 minutes into the first quarter, and we really have not seen her since. We also, as Liam has anointed to plenty of times, no Tariana Gary either. So I wonder what's going on with both of them. As now driving to the rack is Chloe Wilson. No good. She gets her own offensive rebound in the corner, though, but she's able to get it out for a 3-ball for Boone off the back of the iron. Third opportunity, though, but it's stripped away.
That's a good look for Boone, and great take.
Going all the way coast to coast. First, she yanked it away from Wilson, and then she went all the way to the other basket and laid it in with her left hand, Demi Washington.
Yeah, didn't have to go up with her right hand. Went up with the left hand. That's a good thing caught.
And there's a foul called, or no, a travel is called on Crissier.
Yeah, Crissier, she spun into it, had a little extra 2 steps in there. It might have been 5.
And so now here is Inez Piper coming back in for Temple, along with Tristan Taylor.
Yeah, now Tristan Taylor, Leah Nelson, both on the court at the same time. We're going to see how they kind of bounce off each other's energy. I'm not going to say the word elite, but 2 guards that know how to play basketball. Remember, Taylor's a freshman, a true freshman. And Leah Nelson's probably playing her last season in the Cherry and White. Great person to lead from.
Yep, Taylor from Texas won multiple state titles in high school. As Nelson is in her 5th year, she heaves up a 3. Splash! Aaliyah Nelson, her first 3 of the night, the first 3 by any Owl.
Yeah, that's a great pass by Demi Washington. Kind of looking towards the basket. Doesn't see where she likes. Aaliyah Nelson's just hanging there, not calling for the ball. That's great court vision.
And there's great defense from Tristan Taylor. She was guarding Crissier, the 6'1 center. but was able to force a turnover.
Yeah, Temple's got to stop going towards the corner on offense. They're going to get the ball stolen from there right there.
Nelson, same spot, but 4 feet deeper. It's off the mark.
Yeah, swirls that right there. Again, you have an extra 2 steps there. You don't need to be selling for an NBA 3.
Crissier now guarded by Nelson. She keeps getting mismatches. She misses that shot, and the rebound rolls out of bounds. It will stay with the Blue Hens.
That's good defense by Leah Nelson, but Crissier needs to use her body into Leah. Leah's going to have to probably get called for a foul, putting her hands on her, trying to close her out a little bit, maybe put the knee into the hip, but Crissier's got to use the body right there.
Now Crissier settles for a jumper, and it works.
Yeah, it's too much given space right there by Piper. You got to be, we saw her close out earlier in the beginning of the first quarter. Why didn't she do it right there?
Crissier averaging 6.7 points per game on 44% shooting from the field coming into the night, as Ines Piper thought she missed the shot. She was running to get her own rebound, but hit the shot from the paint.
Exactly where she's supposed to go in that zone. She's supposed to sit in the free throw line, turn and look at the basket. If she has the space, shoot the shot, and she did. It's 2 more for Temple.
Here's Rebecca Demeke working on Taylor, and she was doing too much, and she walked.
Another turnover by Delaware. Now hit the double-digit mark with 6 minutes remaining in the first half at 10. At this rate, they're going to probably settle for 20 or plus more turnovers in the contest.
Yep, and that's what Temple does. The team averaging 17 turnovers per game. Temple has already forced them to turn the ball over 10 times.
Yeah, forced Penn last game for multiple turnovers. I think they had Penn 25 lost turnovers.
Dump it down low for Tucker. Tucker fading away. Ball rolls in and out, but a foul is called on the floor, and it's on the Blue Hen. Liam is just shaking his head.
You know, I'm not just saying it because time restraint. I just don't understand where, because there's been multiple games of where you just let it play out and such. It's just the inconsistency. I think the 3 ball earlier for Delaware, their first 3 attempt, I forgot who shot it, but they got clearly fouled. Down low, there's been missed calls, and now you called ticky-tacky foul. It's the inconsistency that makes me frustrated.
Tucker gets it in for Taylor on the near side corner. Fading and off the mark, but Ines Piper grabs an offensive rebound.
Good box out by Piper. Low 2-5 and arc for Taylor.
Tiara East forces it into Tucker, who beats her man and drives baseline. No good, though. Piper, a second offensive rebound. No good. And it's picked up by Washington. She throws it out to East.
Yeah, Piper might have got away with over the back right there.
East might have gotten away with an offensive foul there. Another offensive rebound. This is what Temple does.
Yeah, if I'm Sarah Jenkins, I am losing my mind right now.
Ines Piper misses. How about a 6th opportunity? No good, and finally goes out of bounds. Boy.
There is no one on the Delaware. You got to figure out who the big could be on your team. I don't care if they get no minutes, but you need rebounds. All in that possession, and they missed all 6 shots for Temple. 0 of 6 on their last field goal attempts. 10 offensive rebounds now, sitting at 18 total.
That was a very high number for Temple. So here is Delaware with Boone. Now driving in is Howard. Howard gets it to Crissier. Crissier bumps in, again misses from the paint, and a foul is called.
Yeah, but you understand what I was trying to say earlier. When you get the offensive rebounds, they're just trying to hit it up like it's a volleyball, trying to get over the net, or in the sense, into the basket. You got to bring it down, 3-point stance, whatever you want to call it, triple threat. Look for someone out on the 3-point line or step in.
Temple up by 9 with under 5 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. We'll be right back here on WHIP. We do have word on Tariana Gary, who has played in every game for the Owls this season, except against Delaware here tonight. And the reason for that is because she is in street clothing on the bench.
Yeah, don't know if it's maybe an illness, the flu's going around, maybe some COVID. Don't know if she'll be in the bench for that sense, but an injury is sustained during the Penn game. Saw no news there. I did not get to watch it. Maybe something during practice. You can speculate all you want. Maybe after the game we'll get some answers from Coach Richardson.
Yeah, and you definitely wonder how that affects Temple just from shooting it beyond the arc. They've only attempted 4 3-pointers here tonight.
Yeah, that's the 3-point spark they have in Tariana Gary. T-Mac, as Coach Rich likes to call her. And maybe Temple's like, okay, we're going to work inside out, maybe take a step into, but maybe someone else will step up and take 3-point shots tonight.
They still do have a 9-point advantage against Delaware. Pass inside, and another foul is called that will send Mays Prince to the line.
All right. See, that's the time I agree with the foul. Because Tristan Taylor got beat right there by Mays Prince, and she had to bump into her while she went up for it. It was just a lack of response for Taylor, and she gets taken right out by Aaliyah by Richardson. That's a freshman mistake.
So Mays Prince will head to the line yet again. Again, I said it earlier, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe on the season coming into the night. These are her 5th and 6th free throws of this half. And she hits both of them there, so 5 of 6 from the line. Here tonight is Mays Prince. Temple gets it down low for Piper. Thought about a jumper, but she gives it over to Nelson. Nelson throws it across the court to Washington, who gets fouled on a bump by Tara Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins stuck out her leg right there. I wouldn't say a bump, maybe I wouldn't say intentional trip, but definitely right call right there. Maybe Temple's not shooting 3 balls because Delaware's doing a great job of closing out on the perimeter. You get to give the Blue Hens some credit right there, too.
East gets it in for Piper below the basket. Gives it back to East. The 3-ball is good for Tiara East. The second 3 of the night for the Owls.
Yeah, when Piper usually gets an inbound play, she usually turns and looks to the basket. She didn't do it this time. Thought East had enough space to give her that 3-point look, and she got it, knocks it down.
Here is Cousins driving in. She gives it over for Mays Prince. Mays Prince down low. Now swing it around. Good ball movement here from the Blue Hens. All 5 ladies on the floor have touched it for them, but it results in a turnover. Here comes Demi Washington. Washington driving in, kick out for Nelson. Pump fakes a 3, gets it down low for Piper, whose shot is off the mark. The little hook from about 5 feet out.
Yeah, great pass by Leah Nelson. A little too rushed by Piper.
Wide open 3 in the corner, no good. Fight for the offensive rebound, though, and it's Christier who puts it in off of the missed 3 from Jenkins.
Christier kind of getting boxed out by 2 Owls, but the ball landed in the right spot for her to go right back up to it. Great play by Christier.
Excuse me, that was Cousins that took the 3. Nelson down low for Piper at the free throw line, just went up and got stuffed by the bottom of the backboard.
Yeah, it's not her night so far, Enos Piper. Only 2 points, 1 of 4. Only played 6 minutes compared to other Owls that have all double-digit minutes on the court right now.
Here is Cousins working on East. Step back, long 2 is good for Tara Cousins.
Yeah, Temple's 1 of 9 their last field goals down the stretch. Now Delaware's trying to find the rhythm a little bit offensively, stepping in fadeaways, boxing out. Maybe this is a little run they needed going into the end of the first half.
And that ball goes out of bounds as we'll get some substitutions. For Delaware, it's Boone checking in for Cousins. And Enos Piper will head to the bench for Jalissa Molina. Nelson gets it to the corner. Pass is tipped. Nelson back with it. A 3-ball is good. Second 3 of the night for Aaliyah Nelson.
I just love when Aaliyah Nelson hits a 3. She looks at the crowd. She doesn't do it. Sometimes you get a little celebration when she's playing the guitar with the 3. It's just always the right spot, always a smile on her face. It brings you energy for Temple.
She is definitely fun to watch. Every time she makes a shot, you got to be looking at the camera to see what she's doing as the Blue Hens fight for an offensive rebound at Christier, but she misses on the second attempt. Nelson with it again. Gives it to Washington. Drives straight to the basket. Draws the foul. Or excuse me, it's an offensive foul
travel.
A travel on Washington.
So I thought, I thought it was a travel too. I was waiting for the call, but they let it play out continuation. That's why I thought they're going to call a foul, maybe going up for it. You got to just blow the whistle, play dead right there. Because it almost went in and swirled out. Just an interesting approach.
Under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Temple up 34-25. Crissier, top of the key for Wilson, who thought about a three. Now she gives it up for Boone. Boone, oh, what a layup. Driving in beneath the basket and getting it to go on the left side with her right hand. Cuts the lead to 7.
Great play by Boone. Up and over the basket. Nice step through 1-2. Didn't need the extra step. I think she knew where she was on the basket. That's something you practice every day.
East thought about a three. Now she'll drive in for 2, and it's off the back of the iron and rebounded by Wilson. Her 5th rebound of the night. Driving in on the other end now is Boone, and she gets fouled.
Yeah, Tiara East looks like she got the call right there, and that might be sending her towards 3 fouls. Waiting for confirmation from the box score we're looking at right now. Demi Washington's called for the foul, so Tiara East, which is good for the put in the book.
So it will be Boone shooting 2. The junior out of Richmond, Virginia. This is her first season with Delaware. She played for Richmond, the Spiders, the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so far Delaware's only missed 2 free throw attempts, shooting well at the charity stripe. I hope I didn't just jinx it.
You probably did. Of course you did.
I just did.
I don't know if it's going to count, though.
Oh, it looks like Aaliyah got jumped early. But you know what? The announcer jinx is real. Though.
It is definitely real. I feel like it's still going to happen just because you said it.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You're the play-by-play.
Boone is a 79% free throw shooter, and she technically got them both.
Yeah, okay. But the first time it came short, but yeah, she knocks it down. But again, good free throw shooting so far by Delaware, 10-12. Maybe I hope I didn't just jinx the Blue Hens for the second half.
Denise Solis, the graduate student, checks in and spells Rain Tucker's name. Nelson tried to get it down low for Washington, but too much traffic in the lane, and the Blue Hens end up with it. Mays Prince driving in, kicking out. Here's a long 2 from Crissier off the back of the iron and rebounded by the smallest girl on the floor, Aaliyah Nelson.
I wonder if Temple's going to go for a quick 2-for-1 right here.
45 seconds left to go, and they turn it over.
Not like that.
Taken away by Demeke and gets it over to Boone, who gets fouled. Count the basket, and she'll head to the line for another 3-point opportunity.
Yeah, it's the right call by the officials. I'll give credit to for them calling the whistle right there. Aaliyah did not have her plan feet did. Also, she was a step in from the restricted area, so it's clean to go up with it. But Boone takes a side step, so it's not called charging foul. She didn't need to lower her shoulder. No, Blue Hens are rolling.
Temple has gone cold. 2 of its last 11 from the field, and it has allowed Delaware to go on a 6-0 run, but Boone misses the free throw. 3-point game with 36 seconds left to play in the first half. 10-second difference, shot clock to game clock. The Owls will hold for 1. Nelson orchestrates East to move to her right. She gives it over to Currents. Currents gets it to East on the near side. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Nelson, good ball movement here from Temple. Gets it down to Solis, and she is fouled with 3 seconds on the shot clock and 13.9 on the game clock.
Yeah, they're just playing. It's kind of like hot potato. Who doesn't want the ball last? Who's going to shoot it? I'm afraid to shoot it, but Solis takes it strong. Might have got a trip right there. Maybe tripped her over her own feet, but enough to get the whistle. Maybe put the lead up to 5 for Temple. And a little shout out to her producer, Tyler, who gave me a look when after the missed free throw. The Jennings might be ready in effect.
Denise Solis has not attempted a free throw this season in her career. She is shooting 63.6% from the charity stripe. And her first one is good. 34-31 lead for the Owls. So they will head into the halftime locker room, most likely with a lead. As Solis' second one is off the back of the iron, gets her own offensive rebound. Temple will just hold for another one here.
That's why you always need to close out the shooter.
Nelson with 5, driving in. Thought she got fouled, just heaved it up, and no whistle was blown. And that will send us into halftime with the Owls leading 35-31 and they have looked okay here against Delaware.
Yeah, both teams playing a little sloppy offensively. 9 turnovers for Temple and 10 for Delaware. Delaware kind of closed up the offensive mistakes towards the end of the first half. Wonder if that continues over in the second half.
Welcome back into the Leah Core Center. Hayden Bandel alongside Liam Gianelli and our producer Tyler Blankenship. Temple is 4-0 this season when they take a lead into halftime. Those 4 games were against Delaware State, Bucknell, Xavier, which was their neutral site game at Arizona State, and their last game against UPenn. They take a 35-31 lead, a 4-point advantage. Tiara East leads all scorers with 9.
Yeah, Temple just kind of slowed down offensively towards the end of the first half. Delaware kind of got their groove on a little bit. Prince, Mays, and Boone, respectively, for the Hens, leading the offense, driving ins and such. Not a lot of three-point attempts either by both teams, but a lot of turnovers by both teams. Sloppy ball. Going to be interesting how both coaches approach it in the second half. A more defensive approach, like trapping at half court, pressing or such, or a more slow, methodical pace.
All right, Liam, that is strike 2.
What'd I say?
You said Prince Mays.
I said Prince Mays.
It's Mays Prince.
Oh, I'm looking at it backwards. That's strike 2.
Strike 2. Strike 2 for Liam. I'm only at strike 1. But yes, you are right. Boone and the Mays Prince, they are the leading scorers for Delaware, each with 8 in that first half. And the 5 floor for the Owls on the floor is Nelson, Washington, Piper, Tucker, and East to start out the second half. For the blue and gold, it's Cousins, Yagasini, Wilson, Boone, and Skoners.
I want to see if Enos Piper kind of comes more for herself tonight in the second half and just did that in the first possession.
Piper, gets that one to go. Just her second field goal of the night for her 4 points. Down low now for Skoners. Hands it off for Wilson, and a jump ball is forced. Good job there by Rain Tucker right at the top of the arc to just get her hands on the ball. The possession does stay with Delaware.
Yeah, it's good hand-eye coordination right there by Tucker, not reaching over her, so she has to rip the ball out, maybe get the foul call on her for being aggressive, but enough to just get a little momentum for Temple.
Sydney Boone goes to her left on Tiara East. Floating layup, no good. Maybe that should have been a foul as Nelson comes away with it.
You can hear the thump from our booth. I think I heard it ring throughout our headsets, but they don't call the foul down there. Again, inconsistency. Got beat baseline. Kind of got bailed out by that one.
Delaware has the ball again. This is Sydney Boone. Gets it over for Skoners. Long range 2 is money.
Yeah, that's a lazy effort right there by Rain Tucker. Not even closing out, just putting her hands up. Got to get in her face, a little maybe jab step towards her for maybe a missed basket next time.
Skoners, one of 4 Blue Hens averaging over double digits this season, 12.2 points per game. As East, her floater is airballed, and the rebound comes to Wilson as East gets a hands on her pass. That rolls out of bounds.
Both teams, I think, already slowed down through the first 90 seconds. I know there's a lot of game left, but both teams kind of just not working in, kind of passing, seeing someone gets open, cuts through. But not a lot of people are doing that. Once you get the ball, you hand it off, you got to cut through towards the basket.
Temple led by as many as 11 in the first half. Lead is now 4, and Delaware trying to make it a 1-possession game here. Down low and making a layup as East fell to the floor. That was Skoners.
Yeah, Skoners kind of put her shoulder into her. Surprised there was no whistle call for offensive. I think that was an offensive foul down there. Maybe East got away with a flop.
So Clark Skoners, after she didn't score at all in that first half, has the first 4 points for Delaware in the second half.
Wincing in pain is Demi Washington. Kind of saw her facial expression from us, diagonal. Wonder if Richardson's going to opt to take her out or she's going to have to play through it.
Foul was on Delaware and Chloe Wilson. It's the second foul committed by Wilson as they just mop up where East fell. So Nelson now gets double teamed quickly before it even got there. Gave it up to East. Nelson, wide open 3. Again, she connects.
Sticks
the
out
third 3-pointer of the night for Aaliyah Nelson.
Yeah, sticks out her tongue towards the band, chasing down the court. That's her go-to.
Now here is Skoners. Hands it off over for Boone. Boone right back to Skoners in the paint. And good hands there from Demi Washington. She took it away. Washington again trying to go all the way to the other coast, but she got slowed down by Wilson. Dump pass down low into Piper. No good. It was a great feed by Nelson, and Piper just frustrated with herself.
Yeah, a few things to break down right there. I'm surprised Boone didn't take it towards the basket and opted to make that pass to Stoner. She had the open lane, and Aaliyah Nelson, great pass to Piper. Kind of hesitated looking at the basket. You just try to go up strong with that.
Boone gets it over for Wilson. Chloe Wilson hands it off over for a 3-ball. That is good. Sydney Boone, her first 3 of the night.
Yeah, Delaware now trying to chase points. Wonder if they're going to start settling into more 3-point attack offense instead of working it against the clock. Might have to start chasing the clock.
2-point lead for Temple. 6:45 left to go in the third quarter. Aaliyah Nelson gives it over to Washington. Driving in, puts up a shot. No good. Fight for the offensive rebound, but Wilson ends up with it.
Again, Enos Piper looks like she's tired out there, not making the true aggressive effort the team needs her to do.
Here's a 3 for the lead. It's off the mark by Yana Gocio.
Yeah, there's bodies all over the court. I think there was 3 bodies that hit the floor in that stretch of possession for the Blue Hens. Now Molina checking in for Piper, who's been the better big tonight so far.
Yep, and the third foul called on Skoners. That's huge for Temple as she will head to the bench.
Yeah, you just got to be careful with the fouls right there. Skoners will probably get in towards the end of the third quarter. Keep her out to the media timeout and see how the game's looking at. If you need points, you get at the back end. Just tell her to be careful on defense.
Jalissa Molina checks into the game and right on par. She goes up for the layup and lays it in 4-2.
Which is interesting. I think Molina played with so much more confidence than Enos Piper. Maybe she's a freshman really trying to carve out a bigger role on this Temple team, and that's why she's doing it. Doesn't have to be safe with it, but just a nice little spark.
And Frissier gets fouled by Tiara East.
Yeah, that's a hard call to miss. I think Tiara East kind of got tripped up on her feet and leaned into her on her backside, and that's why it's called. I'm looking at the replay. Tough call to make right there for the official.
And Tiara East will go back to the bench as Tristan Taylor spells her name. Crissier hits her first free throw. Cut the lead to 3. And the second free throw is up and good.
I'm not saying anything about free throws for the rest of the game.
Rest of the game?
Rest of the game.
All right, well, I'll keep your word on that. Demi Washington dumps it down low for Tucker. Tucker in some trouble, finds Tristan Taylor. Taylor driving in, kick out Nelson. How about another 3? Oh, yeah! Aaliyah Nelson, her 4th 3 of the night. And it gives Temple a 5-point lead.
Now 4 or 5 from beyond New York, Aaliyah Nelson. I'm waiting for her to bring out the guitar celebration while she plays it, chasing down the court. But she is feeling it tonight from 3-point land.
She certainly is. And Nelson ends up with the basketball here after a missed shot from the Blue Hens. Finds Taylor in the corner. That 3 is good. It's raining 3s at the Leah Cora Center back-to-back. Nelson and Taylor. And it opens up an 8-point lead just like that.
Great ball movement right there by Taylor, just hanging in the corner. She kind of faded in towards the paint, but follows out Aaliyah Nelson. That's the guard movement right there you needed.
Cousins tries to answer, but cannot. Gets her own offensive rebound. Ball trickles out of bounds right off of Cousins' foot. And that will send us to a break. But Temple goes on a quick little spurt of 3s, a 6-0 run over the last 45 seconds with under 5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Couple milestones being hit tonight by the Owls over the break. They announced over the Jumbotron that Denise Solis has picked up her 500th career rebound, the graduate student who played 3 seasons at UMass Lowell and last year was also on North Broad. Good to see. After last game, Aaliyah Nelson picked up her career 500th assist, and she's been balling tonight, Liam. A season high 4 3-pointers.
Yeah, Leah Nelson, like she said, she's feeling herself from three-point land all over the court, finding Tristan Taylor on that last three-point ball before the media timeout. It's just great ball movement for Temple. And when Aaliyah Nelson's on, the whole team is on.
Certainly is. And even though they approach about that balanced offense tonight, it's really been Aaliyah Nelson who leads all scorers with 14. As just getting set to inbound the ball. The 5 Owls on the floor with 4:55 left to go in the third quarter. Is Nelson out there with the freshmen Taylor and Molina. Demi Washington and Rain Tucker round out the final 5. And for Delaware, it's Cousins, along with Yano Garcia, Mays Prince, Wilson, and Chrissier.
Yeah, this is your chance for Temple to really open up the game, maybe go up by double digits or more. Like you said, they led by 11.
Molina driving in with confidence. And she puts it in on the way up, and Temple back up to that double-digit lead. Mays Prince, good baseline pass to Yaganocio.
Yeah, good closeout right there by Rain Tucker, not giving Yaganocio a look at the basket like she did earlier with a step through on reverse layout.
An uncalled pass there by Cousins. Tried to hit Chrissier under the basket, but out of the reach of the 6'1 center.
Hayden got a text message.
I got a text. Here is Taylor. Swing it over to Nelson. Nelson back to Taylor.
I'm just waiting for Aaliyah to take that 3 when she's contested for a little bit of a heat check.
Well, she doesn't take it there. She gets it down low to Tucker, who finally puts it in. Rain Tucker, her first basket of the second half. And she's up to 8 points on the night.
Yeah, that's a good play by Rain Tucker, staring right at the basket. Doesn't need to go with one hand, but instead of 2 hands.
Temple has also opened up its largest lead of the night before that layup by Chrissier puts it back to 10. 3:42 left to go in the third quarter. Nelson behind the arc, gives it over to Taylor. Quick pass right back to Nelson. Down the baseline for Molina, and she stepped out of bounds. Put her in a bad position there, Liam. Like we said earlier, kind of tucked away in that corner, and Delaware sent the double team, and Molina kind of, as a true freshman would, got frustrated.
Yeah, it was inevitable right there. You can't get trapped in the corner. It's going to be stuck. It's going to be tough to get out of that position. Exactly. Ran across the baseline. Her foot stepped on the out of bounds end line. And that's why it's Delaware's ball. But something to give credit where Temple's doing, 44% from the floor. They have not taken any shot. Their shot selection has been, I wouldn't say poor, but a little bit smarter. It's something they're not chucking up threes. They're not taking contested shots. They're kind of just moving with ease. And again, that extra pass can go a long way.
Chloe Wilson gets fouled by Tristan Taylor. That's Taylor's third foul. And it will send Wilson to the line 4-2. Tonight shooting 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. Only has 5 points though. Here is the first free throw from the all-conference player, first team all-conference player last year in the NEC, and it's up and good. Also comes from a sports family, daughter of Cricket Hall of Famers, Cliff Roy and Vanelda Wallace.
You ever play cricket, Hayden?
I have never played cricket. Have you?
Oh, I still know. I have no idea how that works.
I don't know either. Have you ever watched cricket?
I've seen like plays throughout Twitter and such. I never seen like an actual live game. I don't know how the scoring works because I have no idea. Maybe if I go to Europe one day, I'll learn.
Maybe we can go together and see what it's like.
Foreign vacation with Hayden. I don't know. I might pass.
Here is Demi Washington. Washington gets it over to Taylor on the far side. Molina calling for it. Taylor still has it. Driving in, and layup no good. We'll fight for the rebound, and it's crawled out by Boone. And there's an offensive foul called. Good job there as Leon Nelson hit the deck.
Yeah, I thought Boone was going to get called for a travel. That's why I was looking for the whistle. Picked up her dribble and took an extra 3 steps across the line. It's going to be an offensive foul down low caused by Aaliyah Nelson. But Taylor...
Now, Diane Richardson is throwing her hands up. Nelson is right by the scores table.
I think the official's talking about a flagrant foul, possibly.
Nelson is kind of looking at her elbow. Not sure what the deal is there, but the officials are sending both teams to their bench. So they're definitely going to take a look at something here. It could be whether or not it was a flagrant foul that sent Aaliyah Nelson to the deck.
Yeah, that's what I think they're looking at right here. But there's another thing. These replays take too long to progress, all right? You understand if it's a flagrant. They shove her down there, not even looking at the ball, call it whatever. You don't need to go into a flagrant 1. Remember, it's 2 free throws and they get the ball back. Flagrant 2, 2 free throws, ball back, and the respective player is out of the game.
Yeah, so that will send us to a break. We'll come back once we get a word back from the official. Temple up by 8, under 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Welcome back into the Liacouras Center. 2:50 left to go, and the officials are still talking over whether...
I'm wondering the same thing. What is going on? But again, we went into a media timeout, and they're still discussing. Just get it. Just call the play. Call the foul. Call whatever you need to do. It's frustrating why it takes this long to replay. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, definitely really dragged out for...
And it looks like there's going to be no foul call regardless because no one's going to the free throw lines. No one's separating from half court. So you wasted 3 minutes right there looking for something when it was just an intentional foul. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm not just trying to be negative towards officiating, but you can understand the frustration for both teams.
So yeah, at the end of the day,
why?
It's just a common foul that gets, or a turnover that gets Temple the ball. And so here is Tristan Taylor. Taylor driving in, dumps it back off for Melina, and she walked.
Melina puts a lot of pressure on herself for being a true freshman. You saw her putting her hands on her head out of frustration. You saw it down there when she had to step down the end line for a turnover for Temple. It's a good thing to have that mindset, but again, you're a freshman. You don't need to beat yourself up by that much.
Definitely does not have to put too much pressure on herself, but getting a lot of minutes here in her first season on North Broad. Here is Chrissier driving in. Bank shot no good. A whistle is blown, and it's going to stay here. Aaliyah Nelson has her hands on her hip.
I'm wondering where the foul is there too. I hope it comes back in the replay because there's two Owls on one side of the court closer to the Delaware bench getting the rebound. And there's a Blue Hen, I think it was Boone, who was under the basket on her butt looking for the foul. I just don't understand where the call comes from right there. I don't think that's physically possible.
Delaware will inbound from beneath the basket on the right side. And it was Boone who got the inbounds pass in, and she takes the shot. 3-ball, no good, but an offensive rebound will send Chloe Wilson to the line.
Yeah, Chloe Wilson, one mistake she made right there. She did get the foul anyway, but she brought the ball down low. Sorry, it could have been reached at by Temple maybe for a region foul, but then she went up high with it. That's why the whistle, and now she's shoot the charity strike.
So Jaleesa Molina gets called for the foul, and in effect to that, Denise Solis will spell her name. Solis, who grabbed her 500th career rebound tonight with her 3 on the defensive end, as the first free throw from Wilson is good. Wilson tonight, 6 out of her now 8 points have all come from the charity stripe, and make it 7 of 9. 52-46. Temple leads, approaching the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Tristan Taylor, another one of those true freshmen. Here's Demi Washington, puts the ball behind her back, and now throws up a shot, no good. Offensive rebound, ball rolls in and out off of the hands of Tucker, but the Blue Hens come away with it.
The Temple's got a lot of offensive rebounds tonight, but if you have to put really those points into the basket, and it could be a much bigger lead for Temple instead of 6. It might have been double digits.
12 offensive rebounds tonight for Temple as we get a jump ball called on the other end, and it will go the way of Temple. But yeah, Liam, you talked about it. Temple with those 12 offensive rebounds, just 4 second chance points. And meanwhile, we look at Delaware, they have 10 offensive rebounds and 10 second chance points. Yeah. Taylor gives it to Nelson. Nelson to the corner. Back to Taylor. Denise Solis in the paint, and she gets fouled. Sydney Boone was roaming around everywhere, as Delaware's been doing all night for double teams.
She's doing a good job. That you're fine. If you miss your assignment, call out for the next person that's over in the vicinity. It's called the shell drill. You call out who you got on the ball. If you miss an assignment, you follow them through. It's good practice.
Rain Tucker backing down on Cousins. Shot no good. And here comes Cousins. Cousins the other way, being guarded by Taylor. She'll kick it out to Wilson. Wilson pump fake 3. Now she drives in, and an offensive foul is called as Denise Solis put her body on the line in order to get Temple the ball back.
Yeah, Denise Solis, I think, was a step out of the restricted zone where you cannot get called for a charge foul if you're in the zone. It will be called blocking regardless if your feet are planted or such. And looks like it was, her feet were planted, and she seems energized about it. And now maybe a little momentum sparked in the last minute of the third quarter for Temple indeed.
Yeah, but especially as Wilson goes to the bench, as Howard will come back in for the Blue Hens. Denise Solis, her pass inside to Tucker nearly got taken away. Here is Nelson being guarded by Boone, kind of dancing with her. Kicks it over to the corner. Tristan Taylor, a 3-ball too strong, and airballed, and a foul called on the floor as Denise Solis went flying.
Yeah, Temple's facing a scoring advantage on their own. 3 minutes of not scoring, and 0-4 from the last 4 shots around the court. They might have a chance to break it here. Don't know if they're going to the line, and they are.
Yep, so it will be Denise Solis, who before tonight did not attempt a free throw this season. She's 1 of 2, though, in this game, and make it 1 of 3, as her first one is no good.
See, I wasn't going to say anything.
Good job. Because that would have been strike 3.
That would have been, yeah, that means I'm off to all the teams. You don't get to hear my lovely voice for the rest of the year.
Denise Solis misses both of them. Ball goes out of bounds. And I think it's going to stay with the Owls.
Yeah, it is. Howard only got fingertips on it. That's why you grab it with 2 hands, not reach out for 1.
Yeah, I think she was just considering letting it go out of bounds and just letting it go with Delaware. Here's Aaliyah Nelson. A 3 is good. Aaliyah Nelson, her 5th 3 of the night. And she has now matched the season high 17 points.
Yeah, Leah Nelson, again, she just does it better than anybody. She doesn't run away from it. She follows through. That's something that goes unnoticed, and that's why she's like one of the best players on the court and in the American, respectively.
jump ball forced. It will stay with Delaware. 24.5 seconds left in the quarter. Temple up by 9, 55-46.
Well, I speculated who would be the owl to step up for Terriana Gary's absence in shooting beyond the arc, and it's been Leah Nelson tonight. Only one miss.
One miss from downtown. She's hit 5 of them. In case you're wondering, her career high came last year in this arena, as there is a 3 from, it's a long 2 from Tara Cousins.
The Delaware always finds the answer back and match the points.
8 seconds left. Solis has the ball go right through her 2 hands, and with 5.5 seconds, Delaware retains the ball.
That's an ill-advised pass right there by Washington to Solis. You have Leah Nelson, the easier one, on top of the key, and how she's playing tonight. Who knows?
Trailing by 7. Inbound to Christia. Does she know how much time is left? Mays just has to throw it up, and nothing is going to come out of it. So, we have played 3 quarters of basketball here at the Liacouras Center, and Temple is up on Delaware, 55-48. Welcome back to the Liacouras Center for the 4th quarter. Temple up by 7. Liam, what do you want to see Temple focus on at the end of this game to pull it out and get to 500 this season?
Yeah, continue to do what you're doing. Smart shot selection. You know, Leah's hitting the 3s from downtown. She's getting the open look, though. She's not settling for contested shots. Maybe she does that when they're chasing points, but Temple, play your game. You're up by 7. Try and work your way in towards the basket so you get to the free throw line. I know you're only shooting 50% from the charity stripe, but these are times where these shots become way more important.
And a large disparity in that free throw shooting category tonight. Temple has had 8 shots from the line. Delaware has 19. And even with Delaware having 11 more shot attempts from the line, they've still missed less free throws than Temple. Inez Piper at the top of the key for the Owls, being guarded by another number 14 in Wilson. And puts up a shot, no good, off of the head of an Owl, and it will go to Delaware.
Inez Piper trying to go up with a strong right hand towards the basket, hits the back rim. Now she sits at 2 of 8 tonight. Not the game I thought she would be having.
Here is Delaware, and Skoners gets it down low for a 2. No good. Wilson again got the offensive rebound. And a foul is called. And that is on Tierra East.
That would be called a jump ball right there. Gotta put her hands on it at the same time. Maybe a travel call by Schooners because she hit the floor with the ball in hand. Now East heads towards the bench again. I believe that's her fourth of the night.
Yep, that is Tierra East's fourth. So with just 39 seconds into the fourth quarter, Demi Washington immediately checks in. And there's a Cousins three over Washington. No good. And an over-the-back foul called on Schooners. A good job there by Denise Solis to box her out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Solis, we talked about the accomplishment, 500 rebounds. She did so quietly throughout the seasons that you really don't notice her in the court, but she does little small things. Maybe it goes more noticed by the coaching staff than media or fan space.
Tristan Taylor bringing the ball up for the Owls. Nelson in as a two, dumps it down low for Piper. Washington had an open three, but she got it to the hot hand, and Nelson a long range two, and she connects on it. Aaliyah Nelson now has a season high 19 points on that made two-pointer.
That's picture perfect by Aaliyah Nelson. She pump fakes the three, takes a step in, and it's money all day with that.
Foul is called on the other end, and Tristan Taylor gets whistled for a foul. We'll have the Blue Hens inbound underneath their own basket. Boone, the trigger woman, gets it in for Wilson. Wilson to Cousins. Cousins over the long wingspan of Washington. No good. Bodies on the floor again. We've seen this happen plenty of times tonight. No whistle called. Open three in the corner for Cousins is good.
Don't know. I can't really tell from her angle if anybody's moving with the ball. If they are, that's a travel call. You don't want that play out for the Blue Hens. They might have got away with one and adds three more to the scoreboard.
Tara Cousins' first three of the night. She's up to 9 points. Piper, jump shot from the paint, no good. She's been off tonight. Now just 2 of 9 from the field. Delaware down by 6. 8 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Boone driving in on Nelson. Good move there to get an easy 2. And it's a 4-point lead with under 8 minutes.
Yeah, see what Temple does this offensive possession. If it's a bad shot, or Diana Richmond will take her timeout. I was going to say, let it play out. See what you do if you score. Maybe call a timeout, have her approach. Looks like she's going to call a full one.
So that will send us to a break. A timeout called by Diane Richardson as the Blue Hens go on a little bit of a run to cut the Temple lead to 4 with 7:50 left to go in the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WHIP. Welcome back inside of the Liacouras Center. Temple, they've had multiple double-digit leads. An 11-point lead in the first quarter. They had a 12-point lead here in the second half. But right now, their lead has been shrunken to 4 on a 4-0 Delaware run here in the fourth quarter. Forced Diane Richardson to call a timeout. Let's see what Temple draws up out of it. Demi Washington backing down low inside the paint, being guarded by Chloe Wilson, and her pass is taken away. She tried to hit Aaliyah Nelson, but in stride now going to the basket is Wilson. No good. Crissier offensive rebound, and it's Tucker who ends up with it after a second missed opportunity by the Blue Hens.
Yeah, snapping out what Diane Richardson drew up right there.
Yeah,
Wonder if they move to a more motion offense approach where you just keep handing the ball off and it looks going to get open.
Nelson thought about a 3, but Cousins came right after her once she got the ball, and another turnover by the Owls. So after the Diane Richardson timeout, back-to-back turnovers by the Cherry and White.
Yeah, this is where I wonder if you bring in Enos Piper and Frigilissa Molina. I know the foul trouble's there and she's not playing a great game, but this is veteran experience, if you want to say. In a close game, you need someone that's not going to throw an ill-advised pass up, force a turnover. It's going to be a safer player out there.
And now Nakaya Mays Prince checks back in for Delaware. Mays Prince is having a good night tonight for the yellow and gold, or for the blue and gold. As a miss by Crissier again gets Nelson the ball. Down low, inside pass from Molina to Tucker, and she just missed a wide open layup.
Yeah, wide open layup. That's the easiest 2 I've seen all game and didn't even come close. I mean, hit the rim, but didn't rim out or anything. It just kind of just got stuck in the corner, almost like a wedgie.
Nelson will be the trigger woman as the ball stays with Temple underneath their own basket. Kendall Currents gives it over for Nelson. Let's see what the hot hand decides to draw up here. Gets a screen to her right, to her left, excuse me. She uses it. 2-pointer, no good. Offensive rebound by Tucker. Again, she missed the layup, but again, it will stay with the Owls. Or I think it's going to go with Delaware. And it will go to the Blue Hens.
Yeah, Richardson looking like she's putting a finger up, like, look at it. You can't look at it until it's under 2 minutes, coach. Now you're in the heat of the moment right there, but I think it was off Delaware, too. I can understand the frustration.
6:18 left to go. Temple up 57-53 against Delaware. They practically led for the entirety of this game. Mays Prince, a 3 is good. Nakaya Mays Prince with her first 3 of the night, and she's up to 11 points. A season high.
Yeah, Mays Prince. Yes, Mays Prince. I'm not getting my third strike. I was double checking, make sure. She's been the spark tonight for Delaware.
Tucker, open shot again. She's now 0 for her last 3. All of those 3 shots have been inside of the paint, and Delaware is on an 8-0 run.
Wondering what
Here is Crissier, and that's an offensive foul. Yep, good call there by the official as Crissier tried to hand it off over for Boone and kind of used her muscle to get Nelson out of the way.
Kind of looked like Leah Nelson ran into it. I think you let that ball play out. I don't think that's a foul needed to be called on either of the girls.
Jaleesa Molina will head to the bench now. 1-point lead here for Temple. Delaware has not led the entire night. Here's a 3-ball East in the corner. It's good, and a foul for Tiara East. The second 3 of the night for East. Then it gives the Owls a 4-point lead.
Talk about a time where you needed a spark from someone. Tiara East finally gets a shot to fall down in the corner. Looking back at the replay, that's a foul all the way and a chance for a 4-point play. This is the momentum, the spark needed for the Owls.
I know Aaliyah Nelson has 5 threes tonight, but that second one from Tiara East might have been the biggest one of the night. East tonight has not shot a free throw on the season, though. She is shooting as she makes her first one of the night as a 73% shooter coming in on the season.
Delaware has done a lot of good stuff, matching the baskets from Temple either by 3 or 2 and going back down for a good defensive possession. Want to see what they do in crunch time.
Cousins driving in on Piper. She takes it out now, and she'll give it over to Boone. Boone in the paint. She's got to do something with it. And a 3-second violation.
Yeah, just standing way too long in the paint. Don't know if it was going to be called a travel by Boone. No one's moving towards, everyone's coming towards the ball. You got to move away from the ball, cut through or something. It's only one basketball. Looks like Aaliyah kind of got tripped up on her ankle right there.
Here is Inez Piper. She'll give it over to Washington as Aaliyah Nelson running all over the floor. Tucker, here's another shot. That finally is good to go. And just like that, the lead is back up to 7. A 6-0 run by the Owls.
It's a good play by Rain Tucker. Again, looked at all her options beyond the arc. Turns around, faces the basket, and maybe a little double clutch. Don't know about that release, but it's good enough for 2.
Here's Scones. Shot no good from the paint, but she gets her own offensive rebound, and then she gets fouled by Demi Washington.
Yeah, it's Scones again. The offensive rebounds. They're going up stronger way Temple has.
Or excuse me, that was on Inez Piper, the foul.
Yeah, Delaware was chasing rebounds all in the first half. Now lead the Owls 37-35, and now make it up to 14 offensive rebounds.
So Sconers, will head to the line for 2. Her first one is up and good. Shooting 75% from the line on the season. That was her first one of the evening. Trying to keep Delaware in this game. Again, they have trailed by as much as 12, have not led the entire night, but they still find themselves well in this ball game. Both free throws are good, and it's a 5-point game. Aaliyah Nelson being guarded by Maze Prince. Good ball movement here by Temple. Almost all the Owls have touched it on this possession. Nelson with it on the near side. Now driving into her left. Gives it over to East, and East dribbled it off of her foot. That's a killer.
Yeah, Thierry, I think she was looking for the pass right away in the corner. Didn't know if she really had full possession of the ball, and that's why it got off her foot.
Maze Prince taking the ball up for the Blue Hens. Gets it over to Wilson. Chloe Wilson driving in on Piper, who doesn't want to foul, but she does.
Fell for the pump fake right there by Chloe Wilson.
And that is Inez Piper's 5th. Or excuse me, that's her 4th. And she went right to the bench as she's talking with assistant coach Miles Jackson. It's Chloe Wilson. Tonight from the free throw line, 7 of 8 for her 9 points. Wilson's first free throw is good. Make it 8 of 9. She's now in double figures.
And Chloe Wilson, great play down low, cutting through. Again, the pump fake on the baseline. Didn't think Enos was going to fall for it, but did. Bumped into her, reach over the back, and now connects on both from the charity stripe.
Hits on both, and the lead is back to 1 possession. 63-60. Temple leads. 3:45 here in the 4th quarter. As Maze Prince went flying to the floor. Demi Washington went driving in. Jump shot, no good. Offensive rebound by Rain Tucker, and a foul is called.
Yeah, now just remember I brought up the point how important free throws are going to be down the stretch. Entering crunch time, we're nearing over less than 3 minutes to go. See how Temple works this inbound play. I think you need to have a cutter go right up towards the basket so you get to the line.
Nelson is the trigger woman. Gets it in for Tucker at the top of the key. Right back to Nelson. Washington had Piper cutting in, but she'll take it herself on the left side. Oh, that's a tough finish by Demi Washington. Just her 2nd shot made tonight. Maze Prince, a quick 2, no good. And it's Tucker who ends up with the rebound.
Not a fan of that Maze Prince 3. I think that's a rush trading. That's a worst play of the night, and it could be a crucial one. Now Leo's trying to push the tempo.
And Tiara East, quick jumper off the front of the rim. And taken by Chloe Wilson. Temple up by 5, and Wilson gave it right to Aaliyah Nelson, and she has no one to beat for the wide open layup.
Time out taken by Sarah Jenkins. Needed that one right there. Kills all the momentum that Delaware had. Maze Prince chucked up a 3. Delaware did not need, and Aaliyah makes him pay for it on our next offensive possession.
And so just some stats to read over for tonight. Aaliyah Nelson has 5 assists tonight, so it's the 4th consecutive time, or excuse me, the 4th consecutive game that Nelson has had at least 5 assists. She is averaging exactly 5 assists per game, which is second in the conference. And then for Tiara East, that 3-ball put her over the double-digit mark, the one that she was fouled on for 3, which was a huge 4-point play. She's now hit the double-digit figure in points in the last 4 contests now as well. And then, of course, Denise Solis snatching 3 rebounds, good enough for a career 500.
Yeah, I just want to bring up an interesting point. For the timeout that Delaware called, Temple had all their coaches in their own little huddle and the players talking to themselves while they sat in their stools. I've never seen that before, and they went over to bring back, kind of formulating their own game plan, see what they draw up here. I think you fall back on defense. You don't need to press or anything because they're shooting well from the foul line tonight, Delaware. Don't need to give them any free baskets.
Yeah, but we've talked about how this game could come down to free throws at the end. The lead is 7 for Temple, under 3 minutes to go. From the free throw line, though, this season coming into the night, Delaware shooting it at 71% from the charity stripe, and Temple shooting it at 68%. So both teams are pretty evenly matched. There's nearly another turnover, but the Blue Hens stay with it. Now driving in, no foul called on the shot from Skoners, and Piper ends up with it, and the Owls will slow things down with 2:31 to play.
Yeah, Enos Piper got away with possibly her 5th foul, had to check out for the rest of the game, but the rest let it play on. Don't like the Thierry's quick approach. I think you got to move it slowly here and look for the best shot possible.
Nelson milking down the shot clock. Rain Tucker a 3. Not the best shot that you wanted, but the offensive rebound. Tucker went flying for it, and the Blue Hens end up with it. Here comes Tara Cousins. Cousins to Boone. Wide open corner 3. You bet.
Remember, I think that's where you need to call timeout if you're Sarah Jenkins. But remember, she wasted 2 of them in the first quarter. Might come back to bite the Blue Hens.
Sydney Boone's second 3 of the night. She's now up to 16 points to lead all Blue Hens scores. Aaliyah Nelson. Owls again draining the shot clock, even up by 4. It's down to 10. Demi Washington. Shot clock down to 5. Gets it over to East. She'll heave up a 3, and that's no good. Rebound. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Temple. Skoners just never corralled it, and it just rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good box out right there. I think by Rain Tucker, who able to just not let them get their hands on the ball. Surprised they're not looking at the replay right there.
So Temple now has 20 seconds to play with again. 1:28 left to play. Demi Washington gets it over to Nelson. Piper, 7 seconds on the shot clock. She's going to have to go with 4, with 3. Piper driving in with the left hand, and she gets it to go. Inez Piper, just the 3rd shot that she's made tonight, but it's a big one.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest shot night for Temple by Inez Piper. It didn't matter when you need her for the court, but that's a big-time shot.
Delaware in some trouble. Boone gets it down low, and that pass nearly over the head of Cousins. She'll heave up a 3. It's off the mark, rebounded by Washington.
Surprised Delaware
will slow it down.
Surprised Delaware's not playing the foul game.
And now here comes Sydney Boone running in to tag Aaliyah Nelson, who will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Probably the last owl you want to foul is Aaliyah Nelson, the night she's having tonight.
Yep, Aaliyah Nelson is leading Temple in free throw percentage at 88% on the season. Nelson's first free throw is up and good. 70-63. Temple leads with 40.2 seconds. Looking to go to 500 as Nelson misses the second one and a timeout called after the missed free throw by Delaware.
Yeah, interesting right there. But don't know why Sarah Perkins decided to call a timeout for Delaware right there. I would say you go down, see what they draw, see if you get a basket, even settle for a 3 or a quick 2, then call a timeout to set up a press. Because the ball is not going to advance over half court. It's going to stay on the far side of the court because it wasn't a made basket.
See how how Delaware plays this out.
Remember, there's no more timeouts left, so let's say they make a basket, either 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Can't call timeouts to a press. Temple might just be quick on it. Remember, Delaware has been slacking in the transition defense. That's something that Leah Nelson maybe have streaking down the court on the inbound play.
Yeah, we saw Jalissa Molina a couple times tonight just get wide open looks following a Blue Hen bucket. And now the Blue Hens will need a quick bucket here. Trailing by 7, about 40 seconds to play. Inbounds goes to Maze Prince. Gets it over to Boone. Boone dribbling down the baseline. Her shot is no good, but a smart decision as she was her body was taking her out of bounds. She chucked it off of Inez Piper's leg in order to keep it with Delaware. 21 seconds on the shot clock. Maze Prince gets it over to Boone. Cousins, they're going to have to shoot something, but they've got nothing right now, and Cousins traveled.
Great defense by Demi Washington, not throwing her hands in towards the basketball, just keeping them from her length, so she's closing out everyone else in the vicinity. Great defensive possession by Temple, just what you needed.
And we'll see if Delaware will just let the Owls milk the clock here. The shot clock is off. 15 seconds left, and now they do foul Tiara East with 14 left to play.
I just don't understand why you're not fouling right away.
Yeah.
Just wasted 9 seconds to go off the clock. I've seen improbable comebacks in college basketball. I think that's one of the sports that the game is never over till the clock hits 0, especially with Temple, respectively. We know how the men's team does it. The women's game also has gotten to it before. The Pacific game at Arizona State, where Leah Nelson did miss the free throw to tie the game to force it overtime. Maybe has a little bit of vendetta at the charity stripe.
Tiara East makes both of those free throws, as Delaware will try and run one more play here. Maze Prince gets a screen to her right that she uses, drives in over Piper, and got the layup to go with 4.2 seconds, but that will do it from the Leah Cora Center. The Owls get back to 500 at 5-5 as they top the Delaware Blue Hens 72-65 behind the season high 22 points from Aaliyah Nelson, who went 8 of 13 from the field.
Yeah, Leah Nelson did it all. The guards did it well. TRE's 15 points, Rain Tucker 10. Demi Washington, Enos Piper, respectively, did not contribute much, but Enos Piper made the toughest shot of the night and the biggest shot of the night. 29 points off the 19 turnovers forced by Temple. That's a good staggering number. Temple needs to continue to progress on. Offensive rebounds, they're coming their way, but you got to put it in the basket too. Delaware did not go down without a fight at all. Maze Prince put together a good game, the little spark that she needed. Also, Tara Cousins had a quiet game, only finished with 9 points. A double-figure offensive attack by Delaware was neutralized by Temple. Good defense and great win by the Owls.
Yep, like you mentioned, Nakia Maze Prince, she had a season high 13 points. And when we look at the offensive rebounds tonight for Temple, it was a good one for them, but they usually don't allow as many as they allowed. They had 18 for themselves, in which they only had 11 second chance points. And for Delaware, they had 15, in which they had 15 second chance points.
Yeah, Temple also outscored Delaware points in the paint by 12. Delaware finished with 22, while Temple finished with 34, respectively. A lot of good, maybe not the true equal opportunity offense that Diane Richardson envisions with her team. But now you head back, go in a Big 5 matchup on Sunday at LaSalle. I think this is a great team win and maybe puts a winning streak together.
Yeah, and that is definitely going to be a big matchup for the Owls. That will be on the road. And LaSalle, they had a lot of time to prepare for the Owls, as the women's basketball team for LaSalle, they have not played and have been preparing for Temple for over a week now. Their last game was against Lehigh, in which they got blown out in. But the Explorers' last game was on December 7th. Then their next game is against Temple on December 17th. So they have 10 days to prepare for the Owls, who in correlation only have 3 days to get ready for LaSalle.
Yeah, I think that's not a good thing for a team to have that much off. You can get cold during a stretch or something, but Temple's riding this win. Couple of days off, get back in the gym, work on your mistakes, maybe work at the free throw line, putting up baskets in the paint off a rebound, something to let go to. Remember, LaSalle's not taken easily. They can shoot lights out as well.
That will wrap things up for tonight. Temple gets back to 500 behind Aaliyah Nelson's 22 points, guiding them to a 5-5 record over Delaware, beating them 72-65. For our producer, Tyler Blankenship, Liam Gianelli, I'm Hayden Bandel. Have a great night, everyone.